magic.
Fresh magic. Let's talk about Fresh. It's a new movie on Hulu. We'll get back to that after we talk about what's going on. It's a Friday night. It's not a Monday night. Usually, folks, we record on a Monday night. Trivia for you. But it's actually Friday when people have drinks and socialize. And so we're here.
Drinking and socializing.
Drinking and socializing for the podcast. Yes. To kick it off, I saw some crazy stuff happen with these movies that like are ridiculous. Have you guys heard about this movie called Sharkula? I mean, you can use your imagination and go, it's a shark plus Dracula. Let's put them together in a movie. Sharkula. It's absolutely F-rated schlock. Like, there's regular movies, B movies, then there's whatever this is.
Like Clownado, which is a real movie.
Clowns.
Well, that's like my
Sharks of the
two
Corn.
favorite things being combined is like vampires and sharks. So I'll probably still watch it, even though it might be garbage, but I'm down.
There is a weird
my favorite
subgenre.
animal.
There's a weird subgenre of like not just like Sharknado, but like other shark movies combined with things like there's one like Sharkcercist or the Shark Exorcist or
Oh
something.
my
like
god.
Velasa
Sharks,
Preacher or something.
Well, there's a Velocipaster.
So basically, they take a job and combine it with an animal, or they combine two animals, and you get all kinds of crazy movies. The other thing that's coming out is something called Amityville in Space. There was a movie in the 70s called Amityville about a supposedly haunted house where a dude killed his family. I don't know. Did somebody get murdered in real life at the house? I don't know. But it became like this haunted house story for like 45 years. There's got to be like 17 movies by now. But the idea that the house is going to lift off and go through a dimensional portal and float around in space, and then astronauts are fighting the demons. You know what? When I say it out loud, it sounds entertaining to me, but I saw the trailer, and it's disgustingly horrible.
Yeah. Because you
That sounds like a
can,
good
doesn't
watch
mean you
party
should.
flick, though.
No, the graphics are like worse than like when we were in film school and we saw the kids, try to make their own CGI for their thesis projects. This is bad. Like, this is worse than Sonic the Hedgehog bad. This is like, It's horrible. Like, it's like a cut and paste Photoshop. If it was do you remember the original Photoshop, which was like 98, 99, something like that, where it was like everything was pixelated blocks? Like, these guys are using like prefabricated backgrounds that they bought off like the internet, and this is no good. This is no
it
good.
as bad as like Birdemic?
What is that?
You haven't seen Birdemic is like one of the.
It sounds like it's an epidemic of birds.
It's basically, Birdemic is like the so bad it's good. It's like talked about with The Room, but it's an awful movie that's basically a ripoff of The Birds with the worst special effects you've seen.
Holy crap!
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think of you guys watch Schitt's Creek at all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
with the croning. Like, I don't know. Right. There's like the whole pandemic with the crows and shit, but I'm just saying that's where my thought process went with that.
But that looks like Jurassic Park compared to some stuff that you can find.
Speaking of epic showdowns on a Jurassic Park-like level, the star of The Boys on Amazon, whose name is actually Anthony Starr, Homelander got arrested for assaulting his chef in some kind of pub brawl while shooting on location for a Guy Ritchie film. And I thought for a second, you know what? If you're ever going to get into a fight while you're shooting a movie, it would be for Guy Ritchie, because his movies look like they're filled with pub brawls anyway. But, that's like him, like, acting too much like his character, right? So that's pretty intense.
When you told me all you said is The Boys star, I'm like, which one? I'm like, I bet it's got to be Homelander. Sure enough.
Yeah, like, apparently and I don't know if this is a direct quote, but like all the tabloids are saying he was screaming at the guy like, you don't know what you've done. You don't know the hell I'm going to unleash on you. I'm going to kill you. Like, you don't know who I am. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, so do you know about Homelander? Do you know about this show, The Boys?
No, I looked him up, like Anthony Starr, and all I saw was just an attractive man, and I don't recognize anything he's been in. So
he looks like grown-up Zach Morris, honestly.
Yeah, so Homelander is a genetically engineered, like, anti-Superman. He's basically like if a human had the powers of Superman and then like lost their minds, right? So he's basically
a crazy Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sociopath. He like murders people in the show.
Okay.
And so
Viciously.
yeah. So he's just like, acting like his character in real life. But
yeah,
so he's like in
off on
what?
people in
Yeah,
regular
yeah.
places. Okay,
So
got it.
he's like in Spain or something, and so like if you read the articles, it's like, oh, he got a 12-month prison sentence, and you're like, oh wow, the guy's going away for a year. Then you read it, oh no, commuted down because he paid a fine within 72 hours of like £4,000, and you're like, wait a minute. And then I told David, I was like, dude, this was like pre-show. I was just texting him like, yo, Homelander got into a bar brawl. There's some 12 months. Oh no, wait, he paid a fine. He's already out. I'm like, dude, Amazon greased the wheels on that one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Talk to the judge in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, here's the funnier thing though is I read the article too, and it was 12 years served. So basically, the way it was worded, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, like they automatically stamped the paper like he was in jail for a year.
Which means just people threw whatever money at it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was just going to say, I went to dinner last night by myself and I was there first, but this woman sat down next to me and I had a horrible experience after she sat down next to me. She was the worst patron ever and she deserves 12 years for being a horrible person. And so I can kind of
steal your breadsticks.
No, she was just she like took forever to order a beer. She couldn't understand the specials. She was just so rude to the servers. I even got up and moved a seat over. That woman deserves 12 years for just being a horrible.
That sounds like David's experience at a Subway that he had. Remember, David, last year we were talking about how like you thought you were gonna have a nervous breakdown at a Subway because it was like
First of all, in my defense, I've paid penance for that. I was a Ken. I got to be honest. I was a Ken. But I have a high pressure job, and that doesn't excuse it.
Okay, so it's not the same story. In Dave's story, he was the jerk. In your story, you were experiencing like a proximity of like a Karen at another table.
She was the jerk. Yeah. I was trying to peacefully enjoy my meal, and I would have just paid money to starve at home. Like I literally would have rather not dined out because she was just such an awful person. 12 years. She deserves 12 years. That's all I'm saying. She was awful. She was horrible to the staff. So, anyways, next.
Okay. There's a new Planet of the Apes coming out. I don't know if it's going to be a part 4 to the modern continuity or if it'll be a brand new thing. But, folks, we were just talking about Planet of the Apes on the show. You can go look up our classic episode now, contemporary classic.
Perfect timing.
Exactly. Also, perfect timing. Bender is going to be in the new Futurama. Just for you, Jordan. They heard you had a bad experience at a restaurant with some asshole lady. They're like, give Jordan Bender. They're like, done. It's done.
All I needed was John DiMaggio to return. I knew he would. But you know what? As I was reading the articles, it was to be determined that he just wanted some more pay. I get that. He wanted everybody to get more pay. So he wasn't going to agree to come back until he got the value from Hulu that he was wanting. So I think that's good for him. Good for John DiMaggio.
Anytime you can convince a company to pay you money, that's a good day.
I mean, if you're like even tempting the idea to bring back a show that we all know and love, like he should be able to ask for whatever he wants. That's just how I feel. So maybe not we all love, but
what you don't know, Jordan, is that woman at the restaurant was his wife.
I will fucking end her. Like, literally. I'm sorry.
She still deserves 12 years.
We got the F-bomb out of Jordan. It only took like 7 episodes. We got it.
She can bite my shiny metal ass. So.
Damn. Daniel Radcliffe is getting shiny in Weird Al Yankovic, the Al Yankovic story. Have you seen the pictures? He looks pretty good. He actually looks like Weird Al.
He looks amazing.
Dave, you look like you're criticizing.
No, I said it doesn't look bad. I mean, I'm really curious to see how it's going to go. I mean, because it is a Weird Al project. So even though it's a biography, like I feel like there's going to be some skewing there. I don't know where it's going to come from.
So he's going to parody a bunch of biopics?
I think so. I don't think it's going to be taken very seriously at all. But
you think he's going to show up in the movie and talk to himself?
I wouldn't doubt it. That'd be kind of fun. Like
there'll be multiple Weird Als. A multiverse of Weird Als, if you will. Like all the Weird Als from all his music videos will show up. That'd be cool. There's a ton of Dracula movies. going all the way back to like Max Schreck in Nosferatu, The Guardian, which is like an online magazine, put together a list of Draculas. I compared it to these other lists that have been online for a while. Seems like Christopher Lee, Gary Oldman, and Max Schreck are on everybody's top 3, but The Guardian rules. Chris Lee is like the number 1 Dracula. He played him in like 5 movies. David and I talked about those movies a couple years ago. The Hammer Films put out like a series of Dracula movies where Christopher Lee played Dracula. I was happy to see that they included on this new list the Claes, I think his name is Claes Bang. He's the guy that did it in the BBC Dracula with Netflix like 2 years ago. He's the new Dracula. Anyway, I'm happy with the list.
I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, I know he's not the best actor, but it's kind of feels a little disrespectful to not even throw a bone to Bela Lugosi, though. I mean, like that's a lot of people's Dracula for a lot of like. I know it's like blah. It's not acting, but I mean, that's a lot of that's a generations Dracula. So
yeah, he's not on the Guardian list. I think intentionally they left him off because they're like everybody. Could we think of anybody but Bela Lugosi? He's on the other list.
But that's the point, though. It's so iconic. Like it feels disrespectful not to mention it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just that's my Dracula, I guess.
I don't know. Let's see. Tonight's movie is called Fresh. It's on Hulu. It's got Sebastian Stan. Oh, it's about modern dating. Taking a bite out of modern dating. Between 2 people. 2 star-crossed lovers that meet at a grocery store, and they both have an appetite. Perhaps a ravenous appetite. I don't know. There's a lot of dance sequences, which I appreciate. It's got a great soundtrack. We'll go into more detail here. But we're going to see if Davey found any facts about the filmmakers, the actors, or anything. Dave was complaining. I will say, here's some trivia behind the scenes. Dave was complaining to me, yeah, John, I can't really find any facts about these people. I'm like, well, did they make it together?
Them on IMDb. Sorry, Dave. I'm
called out. His one source, not Wikipedia, folks. His only direct source is IMDb Pro.
I did actually look up Wikipedia today, which
said Kermit the Frog was in the movie, right?
I go at these things from all angles.
Sure, yeah.
But no, you asked me that. You're like, well, what have they done? I'm like, unfortunately, not a lot. So this is like the first big project for some folks was involved with this.
Your buddy Sebastian Stan was in the I, Tonya movie. He's in the freaking.
Of course. I mean, if you just want me to list off somebody's filmography, I can do that. You know what I mean?
No, Dave, I'm asking you to be like a little creative here, man.
Hey, I still can't. Did I not come up with facts?
We're gonna give your job to Jordan. And then what are you going to have to talk about?
Anyway, so
Savage
going into
statistics coming at you.
7 stats! Oh!
Just kidding. Dave, I won't take that.
I know.
Hit us with the dangerous.
Just all give me the business.
See, I am a sociopath. I'm going to write Savage stats on the next outline to do the episode next week.
So as this is first for a lot of people, this is the feature directorial debut for director Mimi Cave. She has done a lot of music videos. The only band I recognize was Sleigh Bells, but she's directed quite a few music videos. This was bought by Searchlight Pictures actually before it premiered at Sundance, only in January 20th this year. Here's something I kind of found funny: is this is not a very Disney movie. It's very un-Disney. But Searchlight is actually owned by Disney, and in some territories, this is actually going to play on Disney Plus. So,
Jesus.
Right? Like, hey, let's go watch Mickey Mouse for Fresh.
I'm sorry. No.
You know what? Whatever Jordan is drinking is it looks like the color of the wine in the movie.
Oh.
Stop. Yeah, you're right.
So actually, Sebastian Stan reached out to Dr. Dorothy Lewis, who is a serial killer expert. I guess she's like an expert on Ted Bundy, just to kind of research serial killers. And I guess he found that many of them are charismatic, so he tried to bring that to the role. I think pretty successfully, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, Dave. Spider catches a fly, moths to a flame. Come on, they got to be a flame. They have to attract you. They got to bring you in. There's a little romance factor here. It's not just wham, bam, you're dead.
I thought that the whole time. He had such a Ted Bundy vibe, like the charisma. He's attractive. Even like He looks kind of like Ted Bundy a little bit.
Okay. So
Let's
put
unpack
me on the
this.
spot here, Jordan, because I don't get it. Did you see those Ted Bundy movies that came out a few years ago? And not the Zac Efron, like the real Ted Bundy?
Of
Did
course,
you
I'm
find him
attracted to Zac Efron. No.
Okay.
No. Of
Who
course
doesn't
not.
love a unibrow and an overbite?
Because I
Right,
talked to friends,
no.
like close friends, and they're like, "Oh, he was so handsome." I'm like, "Are we looking at the same person?"
Well,
You're talking about like melted ice handsome, Dave? Like the ice is melting on its own?
It's different. It's different now that we know who Ted Bundy is, right? Like, he's this really prolific fucking serial killer. Like, we know who he is. So I think there's some sort of attraction there now that we know who he is. But like, I don't find him attractive, right? But women of his time did find him handsome, and that's how.
But what about his yacht?
I even feel like women
what
of
about
the
his
70s,
yacht and his Corvette?
I don't know.
He was an attractive man at his time. I'm just saying.
Now that we got the yacht and the real estate.
Yeah. I'm
See how it changes, Dave? You see that, Dave?
Yeah.
All I had to do was bring out his portfolio.
Am I attracted to him? No. Okay. But right. No.
I always find that an
how he
interesting
would use
debate. Like, I've found some real interesting people come out and say, "Oh, he was handsome." Like, all right.
I'm not about to be making any claims like that, but I'm
Dave,
just saying
you're
I could
spending
see
a
how
lot
he'd
of
be
time.
attractive.
Dave, you're
This is
spending a lot of time
important,
to find
John.
out if we also agree with you that we are into the same dude as you. It's taking a lot of our time.
I mean, I think we all agree Sebastian Stan is a what do they call him
Attractive.
now? A dish or a snack?
Ooh, dish, a snack. I'm good with all of those terms. He is all of them. Yeah. He's a snack. He's a dish. He's a catch.
He's Pam, or not. I almost called him Pam, and he's Tommy Lee right now.
I am obsessed. That was about to be one of my favorite bits, but I have a lot of favorite bits about this movie. I'm kidding, Dave. Continue with the dangerous facts.
Do we get a single fact except for Dave loves Ted Bundy?
What are you talking about? I just spilled out a bunch of facts.
I heard nothing.
You did a good job.
Moving on.
You did. Don't listen to him.
They can play it back. They can play it back and see if it's there. Okay, favorite bits from the movie Fresh.
Stop.
It's funny that
I think I'm first.
Yeah, Jordan is first.
Okay, coming from someone who's a serial dater and who's also tried every single dating app out in existence.
Wait, what about gosh, what is that?
Farmers?
20?
I've done
20?
like Tinder and I've done Bumble. But that's like that was it. I haven't been on any dating apps since I've been single recently. So
no, the new one intentionally splits you up between 20 years age difference, up or down, depending on who you are.
Okay, walk me through that. What do you mean splits you up?
Okay, so dude in your 40s, girl in their 20s, maybe perhaps a lady in her 40s and a dude in their 20s. But the way it was described to me, it's another like sugar daddy, sugar baby.
Yeah, I'd totally be into it. Whatever. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. No, haven't explored those apps, but I'm saying like, okay. So I've laughed the first 15 minutes of this entire movie. This made me laugh so hard because I know what those experiences are like. You go on this date with this person that you have I've never looked up somebody after like, matching with them, and that's where I go wrong. But I think the weirdest date I've ever been on was this guy who asked to see my tonsils. And I was like,
that's an odd request.
Shit. Yeah,
that's an odd request.
That's
weird, not like, right? I mean, usually when it gets weird, it's like feet, earlobes, but I've never tonsils.
You want to see?
Show me something inside of your. Yeah. Show me some tissue.
He was like this vet, and I told him that I had been like having issues, like I was getting my tonsils out, and he was like trying to combat me with this whole thing, but I was like, this is fucking weird, and I'm going home. So like in the first part of the movie, right, she's on this weird ass date with this guy with the fucking scarf. I'm sorry, I've said it like 3 times, but his scarf is going in the food and it's disgusting, and I've just been there. And so I thought it was hilarious. But my favorite bits, right? At the very end, spoiler alert, while she's with her bestie after they've conquered the whole night, and they're sitting there by the tree trunk and they.
Oh wait, should we tell them that there's cannibalism in this movie? Maybe we should. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know
leave
if
that
I
up to
mentioned
you
it during
guys.
the introduction.
So he eats them. Okay, yeah, he eats their
Slowly.
body parts.
He sells their parts like on eBay or something.
Yeah,
And people
not
that want to get
eBay, but-
cuisine.
You know what creeped me out is I actually get home delivery food boxes, and the scene.
Great
I mean,
fresh.
this isn't my favorite
So wait,
bit.
you paused the movie
Literally
immediately.
great fresh,
You went to
your
the deep
ass.
web. You paused the movie. You went to the deep web, and you got 3 boxes coming tomorrow. We got you. We got your number, David.
He's gonna get the carne asada ass.
But it creeped me out because
Yeah,
like.
You know
there was
what?
a visual of like seeing him pack the boxes. I'm like,
I
hey, the
scientifically
box
want to
might
know if
get
her
look
ass
like
is
that.
going to grow
Oh,
back.
I know. Yeah.
I think she can regrow tissue in that area. I think you could regenerate fat in that area.
I had to assume because she was on her butt for the rest of the movie,
Right?
you know, trying to fight him off, and
She was dancing at one point, so you got to call bullshit on the, I guess, realisticness of the whole situation.
Completely agree.
I don't know how
She
much.
was slow dancing because I rewatched that.
Anyway, folks, so we maybe
You
should back
have
it
to
up a
have
little.
boots for that. Yeah.
Okay, so
back
this
up.
movie is about a cannibal that hooks up with people on the dating app, and then he takes them back. He puts them in these little rooms. He chops them up as long as he can keep them alive, and he sells the meat to whoever, I guess, wants to eat them. He has like 3 or 4 girls at a time. The main girl is trying to find a way to twist the psychology around to survive. As Jordan mentioned, she likes the best friend that showed up to try to help. She gets pulled in, unfortunately. And there's some other girls that have been there so long and lost so many parts that they're starting to lose their minds. Understandably, I don't know how many parts you could lose and how many drugs you could be on to not go crazy. Your favorite bits are literally favorite bits.
My favorite bits are just the realistic, like, parts of what it's like to date online. Like, it is so funny, right? Like, so the conversations that they're having in the beginning all the way to the very end, when she finds out that he's married, right? That's like the whole joke at the end. They're laughing about the fact that he was married. Not that he's a crazy cannibalist psycho killer. It's that they're connecting with the fact that he was married. Like, that doesn't even cross their mind. Obviously it is, but you know,
married to his first victim, no less.
They're like, oh my god, he's married. That's what I was saying too. I'm like, she was definitely
the first one.
Was she the one that wrote the note in the magazine, or was she just someone else? Because
when it cuts to the shower scene and she takes off her prosthetic leg, it's clear that she's the first victim, right? The wife is the first victim. Then but he has what looks like an aged ham that he's eating by himself that he doesn't share with anybody else. That might be her leg. Yeah. The first thing he took that he savors for himself. So, I mean, anyway, at one point he's like dancing with the main girl after she got her ass taken off, and then he's feeding her dinner. At one spoiler alert, at one point he's feeding her the breast material of her friend. It's getting pretty crazy.
Molly.
Maybe I took Dave's favorite bit away, but Dave, it's your turn. Favorite bits.
Actually, you kind of mentioned it much earlier, but not in detail. Because it took me off guard, I love the 2 dancing bits in this. Like, I mean, it's not choreographed or anything. It's just people dancing to music. But I'm also kind of a sucker for 80s synth pop. So him dancing to that one song, like, kind of had me hooked.
Yeah, he's doing meal prep and he's dancing to like some 80s poppy beat or something there in the kitchen. Yeah,
Obsession, I believe was the track. But that's fun. I mean, this movie's. It's horror, but I mean, it's very funny. I mean, it's very more like satire. Like, Jordan, I'm kind of glad you had a perspective on that because I've never used a dating app. I kind of
even Instagram, Dave. Even Instagram is a deep end.
Is a what?
Instagram is a deep end of the pool as well. Somebody likes your Instagram page or likes a post, then starts DMing you, and then you go bot, straight psychopath. These messages have to stop. like it's never a regular person. It's either like something fake trying to get a credit card, or a person that's like out of their minds, absolutely out of their minds, telling you way too much stuff in 20 minutes of knowing them. Not even really knowing them because they're on the app, but you know, yeah. So this scenario could happen. This scenario could happen.
Actually, you know what? I rewatched the last 15 minutes again before we started this, and the very ending kind of reminded me of Death Proof, if anybody remembers that, Tarantino's Death Proof.
Where the girls
alert.
work together, the gals work together 9 to 5 style and take out the bad guy.
Basically, but the difference is that Tarantino played it for laughs, and this one, like, it felt very justified and, well,
very justified.
Death Proof too, but I mean, it felt like very visceral this time.
Well, when the survivors are trying to escape and they're missing parts, and I felt actually stressed out for them because then it's like the main guy's a little incapacitated, but he's got allies, right? The wife shows up, she's warped. They have the guy who transports the meat. He's there. So they're like, okay, they gotta like somehow hobble their way out of his complex and try to get through these woods before the other guys on the compound, get to them and put them back in the freezer. So my favorite bits, I like the fact that it was showing us the main character after her first terrible blind date goes to she's like it appears to be a boxing gym at first with her best friend, and they look like they're boxing, and then it turns out, no, guys. We're not boxing for self-defense. We're boxercising. It's an exercise class. I'm like, oh, I'm no longer so confident in their ability to get rid of Steve later in the movie. And then you mentioned, Dave, the food dancing, the dancing with the food prep. It's my other favorite bit.
The very end scene is Chad, the stupid scarf boy, has
texted her again.
And asking her if she's up. And that is online dating in a nutshell, right? Like, it just made me laugh so hard. It was perfect. It was scary and gory and disgusting, and honestly made me a little queasy at some points, but like, it wrapped it up so good.
The one part of online dating Dave does enjoy is all the D pics. What did you think of the D pic in this movie, Dave?
There's a lot of D pics, Dave. In Dave online dating.
Yeah, pictures of you, David, in all your pajamas. D pics.
That.
Which brings us to staff picks. Did we love any other movies? Did we love any other movies besides? What are David's picks?
I suppose we don't really need to rate it. I feel like we kind of all have the same rating.
Instant rating. Binge now. I think it's around the table. Yeah.
So good.
We took a shot on this because when you said when John said, "Oh, let's do a new movie," I'm like, "Ooh, there's always a risk of it being bad," and then we're stuck talking about it.
The only other time it worked in like the last year was with *Malignant*. That's the only other time.
But we'd actually watched that before we decided it was an episode, so that was kind of.
Oh, did we give it more? We gave it more brevity, huh? We had more time. Yeah.
I told everybody about this movie today. I was like, you need to watch this if you have weekend plans, like watch this movie. So
if you're getting ready to go meet Chad, watch this movie first.
I think the highest compliment I can give it right now is if this was in the theater, I would have been happy to go watch it in the theater.
That's a great compliment.
But hey, you get to watch it for free at home if you have
for free.
Yeah.
Staff picks. Dave, did you watch anything?
I did, actually. Just talking about going to the theater, I actually went out and saw the I Can't Believe in the Million Years.
She's in charge now. I'm just gonna sit here and drink this can.
I did actually get out to the theater to see something I can't believe is a real thing, but Foo Fighters have made a horror movie called Studio 666, and it's actually a good horror movie. It's a fun movie, believe it or not. It's got some questionable acting. I mean, that's what you get sometimes when you have musicians who are not actors, but it's still actually a lot of fun, and it's actually really, really gory and bloody. It's kind of a silly horror movie. Kind of, I don't know. Check it out. It's like the Tenacious D movie, but with a horror element is kind of what it felt like. If anybody remembers that from like 15 years ago at this point. As far as TV shows go, I binged it's a short show, but I binged this show called Smiling Friends on HBO Max. I guess it's a cartoon or Adult Swim show. If you like really absurd, like kind of like the old days of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, it's just very absurd humor, off the wall stuff. I think John caught part of one where there's an episode where a guy literally has a gun to his head the entire episode until the end. It's just really weird shit, but yep. Check those out. Go to a theater or stay at home and watch something on HBO Max.
Okay. Did we talk about The Woman in the Window briefly, like last week or a couple weeks ago?
I I don't know. Did I mention it? Because I've watched it.
I thought you did because there's like I didn't know if like the woman in the window across the street was like a parody of the woman in the window, but like it might be. I might be crossing too many movies. I don't know. There's a lot that
it's not your fault.
On this.
I think they purposely did that. Like created the most complicated title. That sounds like every other title.
That's gonna be Jordan's tell-all, which he spills all the beans, all the secrets of the show. Too many movies.
It's gonna be called. It's gonna be called. I'm gonna spill all the beans on the secrets of the show. So
it's gonna spill the beans.
Yeah, no. So I watched The Woman in the Window, which I think is also on Netflix, and psycho thriller killer, and that spun me for a loop. I actually was really shocked. I thought I knew where it was going in the middle.
Was there actually a woman in the window?
Yeah, so it's about an agoraphobic.
Sorry to interrupt here real quick. I want to make sure we're talking because there's so many movies with titles.
That's what she just said.
Kristen Bell.
The one with Amy Adams, not with Kristen Bell.
I'm on the same track now.
All right.
Did you watch the one with Amy Adams?
I've seen both of them. That's why I just needed to keep straight.
Jordan was drawing you a map. She was drawing you a map to this movie with crayons about 5 seconds ago to make sure you were there, David.
I should be up front. I'm like double caffeinated right now, so that's
we're here. We're alive. We're together. It's fine. No, but I did like it. It's an agoraphobic woman. She's a therapist, and she's too afraid to go outside of her house, and she sees all these visions about her neighbors, about killings, and you find out things about her personal life that make you question the things that she had seen, but in the end, it's terrifying for her. I was thrown for a loop. I didn't see it coming, so definitely worth a watch. I also watched Run on, I think, Netflix with Sarah Paulson, and it was okay. I don't know. I thought it was okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Now, don't give me. I mean, because I would say I would watch Run before the other one. Although I did like The Woman in the Window, but like, wow, really? Run kind of had me on the edge of my seat.
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
I didn't, and this has happened to me a couple times recently, where like I don't remember watching it, and so I'm watching it for a second time, and I'm realizing that I've seen this before, but I actually don't know where the story is going. So it's nice that there's still this like surprise, but that happened to me for Run, Woman in the Window, and True Detective season 3. I watched the entire season. I binged the entire season over this last week, and it literally took me to the very end to remember the like actual conclusion of the season, and I was like, oh, okay, I remember now. But I didn't remember. I watched every single episode, and I didn't remember.
So you had, because we talked about that like a week or two ago. So you had seen season 3, but you forgot you had?
I completely forgot, even to the very last episode. Very last episode, I'm like, I have seen this before. This is still super spooky, but I've seen this before. Yeah. So
I feel like we need a term for that, because I experienced that too. That's like movie amnesia or something like that.
I was about to say the same thing, like horror amnesia or something. Like it's like maybe I was so freaked out the first time that I just didn't like take it in and absorb it. But like I was almost just as surprised second time around watching Run and True Detective season 3. Crazy. Yeah. So John, did you watch anything like
wow? So you forget that's funny, because you forgetting season 3 is what happens to the dude inside of season 3.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like the whole concept of the
like
season. It's like
he solved the whole thing and then forgot that he solved it. And so we don't know how many times he solved it. Maybe 3 or 4 for all we know. Like every 10 years, the guy solves it. That's why his partner's at the barbecue going, come on, dude, let's just eat hot dogs, because we've done this already like twice. Like, let's just sit down.
So we'll talk about this like 3 months from now. I still won't remember. It will be great. We'll just like loop back to this episode, and I'll be like, I don't know.
That's right. I've watched a lot of TV. I don't even know. I watched a movie and I forgot what it was, so it can't be that memorable. But if I ever meet him, he's never gonna like me because I can't pronounce his name. Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, put out a pirate show, which at first I'm like, all these guys are gonna die because they can't possibly pull it off as pirates. There's no way. It's called Our Flag Means Death, and they dropped 3 episodes on HBO Max. And that's kind of the point. Everybody around them is like, this is fucking ridiculous. We're about to kill these guys. Are they pathetic enough that we have to kill them or just like be okay with what's happening? And then it escalates. So once it escalated, I was more entertained by the escalation than the zaniness at first. What else did I watch? New South Park. South Park is funny again, surprisingly. It's like season 25 or 24 or something. They made
the TV show has never dipped in quality, but those 2 TV movies they did recently were not very good.
I just can't. I can't get on board. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be the person who disrupts it, but I have seen the Book of Mormon on Broadway though, and it was like the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So, yeah.
We sat behind somebody who just goes sees everything on Broadway and was so offended the whole time.
Yes.
And me and my wife were like, did you not fucking know what ticket you bought?
Okay, so same Z's, Dave. So I went with my boyfriend at the time, and his mom was raised by a pastor, and so she like had no context of the episode or like what the Broadway play was going to be about, and she didn't know the creators or anything, even though like her kids did, and it was mortifying. Like, it was absolutely mortifying because I was laughing the whole time, but I was also like looking in my side eye to see if she was watching me. It was intense, but I wish I would have seen it with my brother because it would have been hilarious and we would have laughed the whole entire time.
You come out singing the most vulgar things. Like there's a song I don't even want to sing.
We can't say it. We can't say it. Go look it up on YouTube and it will be fine. But it was horrible.
You know what?
Great.
I got a good tie-in now because you mentioned the words YouTube. But the fan service this week is just to say thanks for everybody that's commenting on YouTube's, and it's really coming alive. We've been posting clips about all kinds of stupid things, energy drinks. Like, I don't know what else I posted clips from. We talked. Oh, the popular one this week is we were making a mini review of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and we posted that. she crapped on it. She crapped on it during the clip, and she crapped on it during tonight. So anyway, whatever.
Still now. Sorry.
But it's an entertaining video on our YouTube channel. You can go look it up. Next week we're gonna watch this movie called Possession, which came out in '81. And by the next year, it was banned in the UK for either being too violent, too sexual, or both too violent and too sexual. We'll find out, and we're going to continue this real March Madness. We're watching criminally insane movies or movies that are just crazy. Tonight's movie was pretty intense. I was texting my friend about it, and she's like, I'm going to watch it tomorrow with my bestie or whatever. And I'm like, no spoilers, but I wanted to say, like, guess what? There's best friends in the movie.
Y'all are going to bond. Yeah, you're gonna bond over this movie because besties...
It feels like a good movie to watch with a bestie.
Yeah,
why not? Yeah, why not? It's all about bonding and friendship. That movie.
They love each other at the end, right? They do. I'm just saying.
Well, the quote of the movie is "Give me a smile."
It's not though. That's not what they ended on. But I'll remember. I'll come back to you on that.
Well, they said that early in the movie, and then she repeated it to the dude towards the end.
When she blasts his face off.
Spoiler alert! Steve dies. Oh, buddy. Dave? You got anything to add?
Check it out. It's a good movie. Don't watch it on a full stomach, I guess.
Yeah, no, don't. I was on the treadmill finishing it up, and that was
that's good.
Really?
It was.
Am I the only one that sat down with a prime rib and potatoes? We just sat there and watched.
I guess one last thing. Was anybody else kind of caught off guard?
It's funny.
Was anybody else kind of caught off guard, like how deep the credits were into the movie? Like the movie, I was just rolling along, and then
that was intentional.
Start.
That was also a part of the dangerous facts is that they actually don't talk about the credits until 30 minutes in. I thought it was great. I just was like,
I also clocked. I clocked the time that he doses her drink because you wonder when she's gonna get her dosage is in. It took like 33 minutes. So
Yeah.
at first,
Right before
it's
the
a
credits.
rom-com, and then
Yeah.
bam, 33 minutes in.
I was
Goes very
excited
sideways.
because I thought this was about to be about like, online dating and date apps like 15 minutes in, and I'm still excited 30 minutes in after he drugs her, and I know that it's about to get crazy. So just saying, watch it. That's all.
But then 50 Shades of Grey sets you up. They're just playing. It's just play. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
Oh man, this feels like a movie you should eat some beef jerky with. I don't know why.
No, Dave. And not having a prime rib, John. I'm just saying, definitely eat it. Okay, there's an empty stomach.
I don't think I'm gonna eat spaghetti because he was mixing body parts with pasta.
I know. It was so attractive with the
Chef
food
Boyardee
plates
is off
and
the
stuff.
menu now.
You know what? Nothing is sacred at this point after watching that movie because I can't.
Jordan, I thought you were gonna blurt out nothing is off the menu. Like,
no, nothing is sacred. You can't eat fettuccine because he puts some meatballs on the top with the marinara, and it just is absolutely ruined Italian food for me at this point. So that's all. You can't even have crostinis anymore.
Bruschetta made with